Welcome, welcome, welcome. It is Saturday morning, so you know it's time for another live edition of The Extra Point. We got Buffy, the sports slayer, all the way from the Himalayas in the house today. What's going on, Tasha T. Sizzle?
Nothing. I will go ahead and tell people we're late because of me. I was eating. So, lo siento, mis gentes.
Right, and if y'all got a problem with that, then y'all come holler at your boy, Lo Ciento Clemente. Shouts out to the third member of the team, Mike. I thought he was sitting out warrants this week. Good to see you on board, and he's already Tasha hitting you with the SMH. You know, Mike.
Why you putting our boy business out in the streets like that?
No, I'm just glad he wasn't sitting out warrants. That's all I'm saying. It's good to see you amongst the live and the living. All right. So, Tasha, before we get into this drama-filled list of sports topics that we have for today, can you please give us a word from our sponsor?
We're sponsored by May Jane's Coffee. That's MAEJANES coffee.com. Again, you can go onto Instagram and to her website to get your updates.
Right on. And we are also brought to you by Wolverine Comics _TX. That is Wolverine Comics _TX. Hosted by your main man, Mr. Michael Hasso. Make sure you follow them on Instagram. Mike, if you could please do us the honor of dropping the Instagram handle in the comments so they can follow you. Melanie Taylor, good morning to you. Make sure you stick around, Miss Taylor. We have a special topic just for you. And we'll tease that right there, but that'll be coming up a little bit later on in the show. Now, Tasha, Victor.
Wait a minute, before we start.
All right.
I'm getting ready to call you out because I just had to get this off my chest.
Okay.
It ain't sports related.
Uh-oh.
Y'all know this fool ain't never seen the movie Get Out.
Tasha, really?
Yeah.
Really? I told you that in confidence.
I don't care. And it's another movie that he's never seen, Dumb and Dumber. The reason why I'm bringing this to the forefront to the people is because I constantly make jokes about these movies. My favorite street in Dallas is Mockingbird Lane. And I remember the first time I went to this mic. And I was on Mockingbird Lane. And here goes my ass. King. And I'm thinking he's going to join in. He laughed because he thought I was just acting a fool. That's when he told me he had never seen Dumb and Dumber.
I'm sorry.
Yesterday, I forgot what we were talking about, and I said something about, I said this guy he looked like an old boy from Get Out, which was also in Wakanda in Black Panther.
Okay, I know who you're talking about now.
And he says, I ain't never seen that movie either. So I told him, I said, so if I tell you get him, Grandpa, you don't even know what the hell that means.
Is it Grandpa on your mother's side or your father's side? Which Grandpa? I'm not sure what you're talking about.
It's a joke that if you ever saw a big black man that looked like this and I said get him, Grandpa, you wouldn't even get the joke. You'd be thinking, why you call that man Grandpa?
I am going to fix that. I'm going to fix that, ladies and gentlemen, and give you a review.
It's on Netflix.
Very soon, a review.
Get out of Netflix.
Soon. And in Mike's voice, moving on in a hurry, since she done put me out there, I will take care of that, ladies and gentlemen. Now, speaking of taking care of business, Victor Wembanyama made his professional debut last night at the Vegas Summer League. The French phenom finished with 9 points, 8 rebounds, 3 assists, 5 blocks, all in 27 minutes. But Tasha, he shot a paltry 2 for 13 from the field and 1 for 6 from 3. Mikey did not get toasted. Wait your turn. Tasha, you said you didn't see the game, but you saw the highlights. What were your initial thoughts on Wembanyama's debut?
Hated it.
Not even 2 snaps and a twist and a kiss, nothing. Nothing is what you're saying. You hated it.
Again.
He only played 27 minutes, Tasha.
But this is what I tell people too. And I just said this to you. When you have people, I mean, no one is saying that he was the next LeBron, but they were saying
They really trying.
They said he came in with the same fanfare
right, he did.
as LeBron did. But his game, like I said, is more akin to a KD, but KD don't play like that. I don't think KD ever played like that in his life. Even as a kid, he done scored more than 9 points in 27 minutes.
Against G League, Summer League competition. Too.
And my thing is, when you bring a lot of these European, there you go.
Oh, no. Jarrell coming in hot. Make sure you all follow him on TikTok. He has some great sports content.
I'm sorry. When you bring these European players over here, yeah, of course, he 8 foot tall. He's used to dominating maybe slower, shorter European style players. But then you get over here. What did I tell y'all with the grit and grind? I think you and Mike and I talked about this on our chat. It's gonna take one bow, not to his chest because he's so tall, but one elbow in his gut to knock him down on his ass, which he did get knocked down last night.
Yeah, a couple of times.
And it's either gonna make him or break him. But I wasn't impressed with that start. Now, you can't say, oh, it's the jitters. But we saw that when he was at the San Antonio's practice facility and he was shooting up them bricks.
You know what? And I was wondering if you were going to bring that up because if you wasn't, I was. That they sent that. Mike was trolling, sending that meme out to the group chat about him missing all those shots. It was pretty much a replication of that last night. The crowd was very quiet. It was a sold-out crowd. Kenny, I'm with you. I can't wait to see Ja dunk all over Victor. He said they got to stop. We ain't seen no LeBron yet. The NBA still waiting for their next LeBron. It's hilarious. I do agree. LeBron actually, at 18 years old, he gave the Sacramento Kings 20, 12, and 6 in an NBA regular season game in his debut. So let's chill. By the way, did you see LeBron? LeBron is going to always be the king of petty. Yesterday, he posted on his Instagram story a cover of the Sports Illustrated that he was on at 20 years old, saying that he was like basically reminding everybody, yeah, Wembanyama plays tonight, but let's not forget who the real chosen one is. I love that from King James.
Right.
We'll get into him a little bit later. But Tasha, while he kind of didn't dazzle on the court, he sure did make waves off the court this week. And I want to get your thoughts on this. A couple of days ago, Victor Wembanyama and his security team is walking through, I guess, a hotel in Vegas, and one pop princess, a pop legend, Brittany Spears. Queen. All right. We're going to roll with Queen. The queen of pop, Brittany Spears, walked up behind him to seem to stop him, congratulate him, as she said in her own statement. And the security team whacked upside her temple, whacked upside the dome piece. At least that's what the video showed. Now, Brittany Spears has since went on to press charges, and the charges were dropped because the police said Brittany hit her own self in the face. Now, Brittany did say in her public statement that she released that she would like a public apology from the Spurs and Wembanyama, which she has yet to receive. Tasha, let's play a quick game of fair or foul. How San Antonio handled this whole Britney Spears fiasco, is that fair or foul to the pop princess?
First of all, they lied. Victor lied. That's why I don't give a damn if he ever succeed, because he lied.
He lied? What he lied about?
He lied on Queen Brittany. I'm a boom, boom, boom slave for you.
I like how you dropped in the Neptunes beat on that.
And plus, that also always sounded like Nasty Girl to me from Vanity. So anyway, I digress. He was saying, first of all, when my boy on the streets, Steve from Memphis, by way of Arizona, he's the first one that sent that to me. And when I read it, I sat straight up. I said, who done put their hands on Queen Brittany? I knew it was a lie when they said she tugged him on the shoulder. Britney Spears is 5'2".
But then that's what she said. That she tapped his shoulder, and he said he grabbed her from behind.
No, they said she grabbed him on his shoulder from behind.
Kenny.
She's 5'2". He's 7'2". Her hand is not going to reach his shoulder. Number one. Number two.
No way in hell.
Number two. I can understand where he's coming from and the security. Right. I understand that because you have this player, your job is to protect him, be his security, and you have a woman speaking in a British accent running up to him trying to get to him, the first thing you're going to do is be like, hey, now, come to find out, Brittany did hit herself because the way the security hit her arm, it ended up pushing her hand into her face.
Okay.
So I
she didn't just slap herself. Her hand was knocked into her face.
But I mean, the apology should not be for hitting her. The apology should be for the incident in general.
Right, just for the misunderstanding.
Just for the misunderstanding. But now this is where I put the blame on Brittany. Brittany, we've seen you bald-headed going after paparazzi with an umbrella. So you being Queen Brittany, you know what it's like to have fans come at you.
Right, she was one of the biggest pop stars ever.
So why would you think that it was okay to approach another quote unquote celebrity? That's what I'm just saying. Right. She knows everything that she went through.
Right.
So why would you think it would be okay to run up to him? Now I know Britney Spears. If I was to see Britney Spears walk down the streets of Puerto Plata over here, I'm gonna be like, oh my God, Britney Spears. But Brittany, your star hasn't really shone or shined in about 10 years.
Right.
Now people say, oh, he should have known who Britney Spears was, but she was speaking in a British accent. How in the hell was he supposed to know that was Queen Brittany, bitch?
Right.
But at that, like I said, with that being said, she should have known herself. Would you want somebody to come up to you and tap you on your shoulder while you're trying to walk from behind? People have died for less. You walking up on this man from behind. The security didn't know who you were or what you could have done to him.
Okay, now Mike says, I don't like that they said, we didn't know it was her. Like, okay, and if it was a kid, so Mike, okay, so what are you saying there? That you're team Brittany on this one? Like, if it was a kid, would they been more wrong if that it wasn't an adult?
I mean,
I'm asking for clarity on that.
Yeah, I know you asking Mike, but I'm team Brittany in this incident.
Brittany, this was an overreach. Sit your ass down. The security man was doing his job at the end.
At the end of the day, the security man was doing his job. And of course, I'm team Brittany because I'm just a Britney Spears fan.
And Kenny, real quick, if you going to hell for laughing at something Tasha said, we all going to hell.
But no, she was so stressed out and whatever. And when the paparazzi were trying to get at her, she reacted that way. That's when she shaved her head and she had that umbrella and she was jabbing at the paparazzi. Right. So that's why I'm saying her dealing with everything that she's dealt with, she should have known better than to go up and approach. And like Shamika said, and what I was alluding to, just because you're a celebrity does not give you the right to be walking up on people.
Tasha, do you think she knew who he was?
I mean, she might have, because I wouldn't have known. I mean, to be honest, you and Mike kept getting on me because I never heard of him until the draft.
I couldn't believe it. I was like, really? They've been talking about this fool for 2 years.
I would have seen him and probably been like, oh, I hope that ninja hoop because he tall.
Right. No, but the thing is, when you're in Vegas, and we've all been to Vegas, you walk around, you'll see a celebrity here or there, maybe with their entourage gambling or going in and out of a casino. I've been to a fight and saw several celebrities there. And you see this kind of like an entourage, but you don't really go up and approach, especially a guy. If the roles were reversed, I could completely understand. But it didn't even look like the security guard looked back. It looked like but I heard a female voice saying like, hey. And the next thing you know, you see her hand fly back in her face. Mike said, what if that was a kid? It's still kind of like the same principle. What are you paying security for if somebody can just run up and touch me?
Right.
What is it, the hem of his garment? She trying to get healed? This ain't the New Testament.
If I could just touch the hem of his garment.
Right, she was trying to touch the hem of the garment. And Shamika says she knew he was somebody. He was walking around with a security detail. That's where it gets murky for me. I probably would have advised if I'm Adam Silver, hey, why don't you just have your people just say, hey, we apologize for the unfortunate incident that happened with Britney Spears. We appreciate her being a fan, blah, blah, blah. Send her some tickets to a San Antonio game that she'll never go to and just have a good PR experience. But for them to double and triple down like the bitch shouldn't have touched me, that was kind of weird.
But even with him saying I was grabbed from behind, dude, no, you were not. She's 5'2". And when you saw the video, she actually tapped him.
Right. Do you think Wembanyama knows who she is at his ripe young age?
I mean, the thing is, they still play Britney Spears music now.
Because if it was me, I'm going to dinner with Brittany. I'm like, hey, you rolling Dolo? Well, come on with me and my security. We should go eat some Italian.
With her husband, and maybe her husband was like, hey, babe, that's Victor Wembanyama. That's the guy. She probably like, oh, okay, well, yeah, let me go up and speak to him. I'm a fan,
Right.
I don't know how she was a fan. Again, I don't know what Brittany.
Or was she being a Kardashian?
No, she was with her man.
And by that, I mean an opportunist. Like, okay, here's a chance for me to get it.
She was with her man, and her man fine. So let's just get that out there. She was with her man. And Brittany, to be honest,
no, that ain't just her man. She's married, right? That's her husband.
Right.
Right, cool.
Brittany don't need to be Kardashian anybody because Brittany got her own. Brittany made her own.
Right, and she got emancipated and finally got her cheese, and I'm happy for her for that. There was just one of those weird things, like if you're the Spurs, if you're Coach Popovich, why not release even just like a dummy statement to apologize for any embarrassment?
I just think with the whole incident, I think it was one overblown, and I think it was wrong on both parts because she had no business walking up on him.
Because if she was a stalker, a crazy person, and hit him with the shank, then we looking at that security like, what the hell were you doing?
Right, exactly. Right. And then number two, I mean, the way he swatted without even looking, as to Mike's point,
but he knew that was a woman's voice. You can clearly hear that on the tape.
He knows a woman's voice, and the way he swatted down.
That was very aggressive.
But we don't know if he saw her previously, but still, the way he swatted her down, he could have just turned around and said, hey, man, because you know who don't play that and you don't get within 10 feet? That's Julius when he protecting Queen B. Right. Julius will give you that look.
Right. He did that at the Grammys.
He was sitting like this.
Yes. And the thing is, I want her to have the same type of protection because they're all entertainers and they entertain us. I don't want anything bad to happen to them. It just seemed like a weird story that it had to go that far. Send that girl some roses.
You know what she said? There's only two type of people in the world.
Your daughter said, all right, she tired of hearing about Britney Spears.
The ones that entertain and the ones that observe. Come on, Queen Brittany.
Well, ain't she the same one that sang "Hit Me, Baby, One More Time"? All right, we're gonna roll with that on that one then, because Denise ain't with this Brittany talk or this Wembanyama talk. So you know what? For you, our sponsor delight, Miss May Jane Coffee herself, we're gonna move on. But she did say "Hit Me, Baby, One More Time." Maybe she was playing.
My loneliness is killing me.
All right, I'm sorry because I don't want y'all to go run with that one little clip and say that we promote domestic violence on here because we do not. AP Culture checking in says, morning, y'all. That security guard was wrong for hitting her. Period, mama. They didn't know that was Brittany. They didn't know. I'm sorry. They didn't know, mama. Tasha, I guess you win that round. All right. Now, Shamika Nicole, friend of the show. Hold on. We got one last word on this. Wemby should have worn a free Britney shirt. Maybe he would have played. Man, something needed to make him play better. Because he looked, Tasha called him a wet noodle before we hit record. And he looked very thin and very frail out there. I'm wondering, what in the world are you going to do against a Joel Embiid?
He looked like that man at the beat.
All them things will be at the car lot.
That's what he looked like.
He got pushed around pretty good and he got dunked on last night. Welcome to the NBA. Speaking of NBA, literally, y'all, minutes after we concluded last week's show, I get a message from friend of the show, Miss Shamika Nicole, saying that Damian Lillard finally did officially request a trade from the Portland Trail Blazers. Now, yesterday, his agent went public and said, I'm already telling potential suitors, if you're trying to trade for Dame, don't, because he won't show up. We will only go to Miami. Now, this is a stark contrast from the run from the grind dude that we've known the last 10 years in Portland that mocked everybody else who switched up and joined super teams and things of that nature. Tasha, is this fair or foul the way he's handling this trade request with Portland?
I mean, it's kind of hard for me to believe, number one, that he would even say that. Given his history of being loyal and being a, all-around good guy, you never hear about him in the news. He's with his wife. People didn't know he was married. He put out his little rap album. that's kind of hard for me to believe that statement actually came from him.
Right.
It could be more of the agent playing hardball, but then again, you got your agent out here speaking for you,
right,
and running your name hot.
Right. And we've seen that happen before with other athletes.
Yes, but I don't blame him. And I think I alluded to this. He's given Portland all that he had.
All right, Shannon Sharp. Just know when your head hit that pillow, I give you all I had. I give you all I had, Skip. I give you all I had, Skip. Skip! Skip! I give you all I had, Skip. No, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Tasha.
Smoking his black and mild.
Right, with his yak. Go ahead.
I mean, he did. He basically was Anita Baker, giving you the best that I got.
Right.
But they never did anything. Only thing they did to make him seem like they gave a damn was to hire Chauncey Billups as a coach.
And I want him to stay the coach, so Dame got to get the hell out of there so he can rebuild and buy him some time. If you lose him with Dame, you're going to get fired.
So, I mean, at this point, if he comes back to Portland, is he going to be, I'm going to take my ball and go home till y'all give me where I really want to go? Or is he actually going to play? Because you really don't want what do you call it? A begrudged? How do you say that? You know what I'm trying to say?
Oh, a disgruntled.
A disgruntled. What I say, begrudged? Who the hell? What's going on?
Sounds like Miss Jackson, Miss Baggett Justice, our English teacher.
Sorry, Miss Leckrone. Because we'll see he can go full on Antonio Brown in the middle of the court at the free throw line and just take his jersey off and walk on into the locker room.
All right, Dennis Rodman. Look, Tasha, here's my issue with how Dame is handling this. And no, I don't care that he changed his mind and now he wants to go chase a ring because like you said, if you've been at a job for 10 years and you're not getting promoted, you're getting the money, but you're not being fulfilled, then it's well within your rights to go and get another job. Here's my issue.
That is true.
You knew 3 years ago that team wasn't no damn good. But last year you signed an extension with 2 years, $121 million. That's $61 million that a team is going to have to absorb to get you. So if you're telling other suitors that I only want to go to Miami, you're putting Miami in a position that was like, okay, well, now we got to give away the whole farm to get you? It seemed like if you would have been more KD, more LeBron about it, kept it under wraps. Normally, KD, we found out where KD was going when Woj broke the bond.
We found out basically when he done already signed the contract.
Right, like it's a done deal. We had no clue that Phoenix was in the running for him when he was in Brooklyn last year, and he was able to get that big haul for Brooklyn for doing that. It just seems like if you were really that loyal to Portland, why are you doing this in such a vindictive way? You took the money, then you waited till after the draft where people had plenty of assets. You waited till after free agency where other people have already moved. They signed Jeremy Grant to a max extension to keep Dame, and then the next day he says he wants out. They may not have kept Jeremy Grant for any other reason other than to please Dame. But so it's just like, why are you being petty?
We don't know what went on behind the scenes.
That's true too.
He could have told them, look, I'm not going to be here. So y'all, look, if y'all not going to give me something, I'm out. And then they probably felt like by signing Jackson that was going to make him stay.
And it wouldn't have made me stay either because he's just not that type of player that's going to put us in the championship contention talk. But Langston makes a great point. He says Portland's only draws Dame. Miami is not going to offer anything substantial that Portland will accept with Miami coming off a finals appearance. Well, not only that, Langston, I totally agree because you have no leverage now. If I'm Pat Riley and I'm sitting there with umpteen rings from the Lakers and the Heat, and you telling me you want to send me a player and you want me to raid my cabinet to give you something in return, but I know your player don't want to play anywhere else, I'm going to wait you out. I'm going to just wait you out. I'm like, hey, the price will come down, or you deal with that headache and have him come in the training camp without you moving him. So if I'm Pat Riley, I'll just sit on my hands, wait until the trade deadline, wait till the price comes down, because yesterday's price ain't today's price, and his value seems like it's going down. Like, shut the hell up, Dame. You can tell he's a rookie at this. He should have called KD.
Because he's a rookie at this because he probably never felt in a million years that he would have to do something like that.
Great point. I agree there. But don't tip your hand to an OG like Pat Riley. Pat Riley let LeBron walk and went back to the finals. You think he's going to sweat bullets over Damian Lillard? And like Langston said, you already just coming off a finals appearance. As a matter of fact, they've been to the finals twice in the last 4 years. So, Tasha, on a scale of 1 to 10, what's your confidence level that he will be a Miami Heat before the season starts?
The thing is, it's hard. It's hard to the way these teams and these players and all this crap is set up nowadays. It's really hard to tell because you have so many teams that fold in to these superstars. Because again, you don't want an AB situation where you got him there, you gave him the money, and he's still acting a damn fool. He's not performing. And to Langston's thing, Dame is not the only draw in Portland. There is a clothing optional beach in Portland.
You know what? That's something you only gonna hear on the extra point, y'all. If that went over y'all here, run that back after the show, because you can go to the nude beach. Maybe he tired of seeing saggy breast and bras out there. They ain't like there's no sunlight in Portland. That's a lot of paleness going on that beach, you know.
Well, it is kind of hot up there. They've recorded hot temperatures throughout the country, just like everyone else in triple digits. So
that's because we're gonna burn up at the Earth's core in about 5 years. But I'll digress.
But at least we're gonna make it to our reunion trip before we do.
Right? Can we get up to Costa Rica before the Earth blow up like in 2012? All right. Langston says, "Shake my head," but Langston, stick around for another segment because you're really gonna shake your head at this question I have for Tasha, and I know you're gonna have an answer for it. Next up, Shaq, the big diesel, the big man himself. He posted a meme on Instagram that got a lot of traction the other day. It was a meme of Jeannie Buss from one of the podcasts that she was on that said her top 5 influential Lakers of all time. Now, you know what? I'm gonna just let that marinate. But speaking of beaver, there's a lot of beavers to be seen in Portland. You behave. Is your lady watching this, Langston? Oh my goodness. All right. Goon Squad is in the house. So, Tasha, let me give you the top 5 that was on her list. Number 1, Kobe. All right, we get it. Number 2 was Kareem. All right. Number 3, LeBron James. Number 4, Magic Johnson. Number 5, Phil Jackson. Now, fair or foul. Was this fair or foul to leave Shaq off the list, Tasha? What do you think about her top 5? Now, this was influential, not best overall game, but influential.
Right, I know. No. That's foul. First of all, Phil ain't suited up. That's number 1. So if you saying Lakers, you need to define, do you mean anyone within the Lakers organization? Because if you're going to say within the organization, you need to throw Rob Pelinka in there because he is the one that got you the number 4 on your list. If you go in there, Jeannie Buss.
Well, he put that Montana Moose on her.
Right. Now, is that why he was on the list? Because y'all was doing the magic mumbo.
Well, he must have beat it up because he left an impression because he's top 5 of all the list of the Laker greats.
Shaq is one of the most recognizable figures in the NBA. So for her to leave him off the list, I'm calling BS on that. Phil doesn't need to be on there. And I kind of think Kareem needs to be moved down. Kareem was great to us, but a lot of the younger generation today, they don't know who Cap is. Like if I say Cap to some people, they don't even know who that is.
Right. And he did a lot of damage in Milwaukee as well before he even got to the Lakers. He had won 3 or 4 MVPs and a title.
And the shot that he was famous for, a lot of people don't even use that shot anymore.
That was Xavier Simpson from Michigan about 2 years ago that would do that shot, the Kareem skyhook. Tasha, what are your thoughts about LeBron making her top 5 list? Is he one of the top 5 influential Lakers of all time?
If you're going to say of all time, yes. But I don't like to include LeBron on any Lakers list because to me, LeBron is not a Laker. LeBron will always be a Cavalier to me, not even a Heat. LeBron will always be a Cavalier, in my opinion. So,
now, is this just to LeBron, or is this how you feel overall? Because Jerry Rice went to a Super Bowl with the Raiders and was an All-Pro, but you only look at him as a 49er. Is it the same way?
Yeah, even though he accomplished things with the Raiders, he's just going to always be a 49er. Like, I mean, they had him taking Steve Largent's number out the rafters to give to the.
That is true, and Steve Largent was their most influential player of all time.
Right, and Steve Largent was like, "Sure, let him have it. He can have my number because it's Jerry Rice." Right. So he will always be a 49er to me because that's when I fell in love with him. And like a lot of people, they are LeBron fans. They're not necessarily Cavalier fans, but where did they first see him was when he played with Cleveland. Everybody was
fan, Heat fan, Laker fan. Wherever he go, we go. Like my buddy.
Right. But you just answered your own question. He is influential. I just don't see him as a Laker. I see him as a influential individual.
Is disrespect too strong of a word from Langston? He's a Laker fan. He said, hell no, that's disrespect to the Lakers. LeBron, that disrespectful? Is that too strong of a word, Tasha?
I mean, I don't think it's disrespectful. I just don't think it's needed. Like, I mean, I know she's trying to be all-inclusive, unlike other states, including Tennessee, who want to remove diversity. I'm just going to get that out there.
Oh, we're going to get to that.
I think she's trying to include because he is a current Laker. And technically, when you put on that Laker jersey, you become a Laker. I mean, they're going to eventually retire his number in the Raptors.
Yeah.
I believe that. And I don't think he need a statue outside or anything, but you know.
He don't. He got to get at least 3 titles to get a statue in LA. They don't have the same criteria as a Cleveland. You know, Cleveland was Believe Land if you look at 30 for 30. So any kind of title is going to go up way up their list. Not so much in LA was this title town. He said, give us Rambus. Rambus was a bad boy. But I'm going to take Rambus off the list because as an executive,
wait a minute. He said Barabbas. You know what? Mute him. If y'all don't know, read your Bible.
You know, likes to give you a good word, too. He'll give you a good word. Tasha, I saw this on ESPN.com the other day, and it made the rounds here locally in Dallas. Some intense debates on the radio. I enjoyed every second of it. So I wanted to bring this to you since you're not really a fan of either player. The question was on ESPN.com. It was on Wednesday. Who will win a title first? If you had to bet $1 million on who would win a title first, who would you pick? Luka with the Mavericks or Dak with Dallas with the Cowboys? She started laughing, y'all. The disrespect.
First of all, I am a Dak fan. Hashtag clanger.
Clanger. It's almost that time, too. Come on, college football.
Hashtag Hail State. Damn.
You've been critical of both, so I was curious to see what you think.
I hate to say it, but the Cowboys got a better shot.
I'm sorry. Well, I need you to lean in. Let's see, Bucky. Let's see the whites of your eyes when you say this. I just want to hear. But
they may be a little bloodshot because you know your girl had a few party favors. So
oh my God!
Why you think I was eating quesadillas?
Y'all, she was eating quesadillas at 8:45 this morning. I was like, what the hell?
I was high
because I got high. Do. So you're saying on record
because Dallas, you think about it. They were 6 interceptions away from beating the 49ers last year in that playoff game.
That was a classic. They threw down with the 49ers.
Had Dak not thrown 18 interceptions.
That's true.
And Bennett's shirt not lined up at center. They would have beat.
What were they thinking?
They would have beat my beloved 49ers, and I do believe
because that defense showed up and showed out against Brock Purdy.
Because, like you said, you got 7 from heaven, and what's his name, DeMarco.
You got D-Law, you got 11 from heaven, and you got Trayvon Diggs out there. Plus, you picked up Brandon Cooks on offense. I think that is one of the most underrated moves in the entire NFL offseason, with the Cowboys picking up Brandon Cooks. All he does is get traded year after year to new teams and put up 1,000 yards receiving. And you also pick up Stephon Gilmore, a more credible cornerback, to play alongside Trayvon Diggs. And you know Trayvon going to give you about 6-7 interceptions. And now we got Mike McCarthy calling the plays instead of Kellen Moore. I'm just thinking that Dak's gonna cut down on them turnovers, and y'all be looking for the Cowboys to make a Super Bowl run this
I
year.
really think they are, because right now the Mavericks are looking like the Cowboys of old. Jerry, you got your finger over there with Mark Cuban, Gerald.
Now wait a minute. Here's my Eagles fan chiming in. Mike McCarthy the problem though. But no, Mike McCarthy wasn't calling plays last year. Remember when he was calling plays for Aaron Rodgers? Rodgers putting up all them MVPs? Man, Dak is going to be MVP of the league, y'all. And we know Langston hates Dak. Before I even post this, just know that Langston hates Dak. And he says, won't help if Dak underthrows routes and makes incorrect reads. He's a bum. Bum is such a strong word, Langston. Remember Gary Huggaboom? Remember Quincy Carter? Remember who else? Who else was playing with them, Mike, with the stank face? Now, Mike, you know, and Tasha knows this, and Tasha's she's a football savant. She knows that since 2004 there has not been a repeat NFC East champion. And who won it last year? The Eagles. So bye-bye to all you groupies and gold diggers.
Is there a on your ass? No.
Jamaica, cowgirl country. Why the long face? Y'all have no faith in your own damn team.
No, I'm serious. If you're saying between the Mavericks and the Cowboys, it's definitely going to be the Cowboys. The Mavericks are nowhere near anybody's championship. That 2 years ago, 3 years ago, yeah. But what I saw last year, and then you got all these new NFC, these Western Conference teams getting stronger.
Yes.
I don't see it.
Look, the Spurs may have a better record than the Mavs this year with Wembanyama. Now, Danny White was the name I was looking for, Langston. Good job by you. Remember the Danny White years right before Troy Aikman? When they was 8 and 8 could barely skate?
Shout out to Tom Landry. He was only working with crumbs.
That was a dismal time to be a Cowboys fan during the Danny White era. It was kind of like when Too Tall and them was falling off, Dorsett had gotten old, and they were trying to like go into the what did they call them? They didn't call them the big three. What are they? The triplets. Right before the triplets, it was that Danny White, Gary Huggaboom. I almost start cussing. But Dak is not Danny White. Dak is way better than Danny White. Let me stop that back up there. Stop that, Langston. That's not cool. Now, Tasha, let's get a little serious just here for a second. I saw something from Charles Barkley that really kind of warmed my heart, but it really is still kind of smoldering down in my spirit, the whole ordeal, and I just kind of want to touch on this. We had a friend of the show in the comment section that wanted us to touch on this as well, and so we will. We won't wait until Jerry Jones goes to the upper room. Now, you know Jerry Jones is going to live to be 137 years old when they fall. You know, Jerry ain't going nowhere, and Jerry is not the problem.
Version of the boss from The Simpsons.
Jerry is not the problem. That was like Tasha just told y'all, and she's a 49er fan, that the Cowboys are close. They have the right pieces. Dak just needs to cut down on the turnovers. She says, I don't know what to do about this NFC East division. Philly's going to be good for a while, and we will be right behind them unless someone over there gets injured. Damn, Cowboy fans. Tasha.
Damn. Et tu?
Brutet? Damn. I can't wait for us to start counting down the face.
Smile in your face and wear a star on your chest, and all along want to take your place. You're stabbing your own team in the back.
She says she a realist. Tasha, did y'all snatch the souls of Cowboy Nation last January?
Well, you know we have been known.
It was that Gremlin. When y'all came out playing Gremlin, you snatched the souls. She's a realist and a football fan, but this is the off season. The Atlanta Falcons fans have optimism. Mike, yes, them broke they pull of souls. Look, I'm a Titans fan, and I'm like, tighten up, damn it. We're going to go 6-12, but tighten up. Oh, my God.
Especially
Mike, are you watching this?
A player wearing a jean vest as a shirt.
Don't do that no more, Big Jeff. You 270 pounds. Don't be out there dressing like you all. Almost said something that's got us in trouble. But he looked like he was on one of the Bravo shows. Let's go. Let's do that. Look at this, Tasha. You ought to feel vindicated. You done snatched the heart and souls out of Cowboy Nation.
I was rooting. I said the Cowboys over the Mavs. So I didn't shoot the sheriff.
This is not even Tasha's fault. But I'm embarrassed that she's seeing this live. Look at the media hype Dallas up every year for ratings. True fans know the deal. You know what? I'm keeping receipts on all of you. If y'all start out 8-0, I don't want to hear a peep out of none of you. Not a peep.
I mean, they can go 8-0. It's just when the playoffs, when they don't perform.
You know what? That's true. So, ain't no disputing that. All right. So, Tasha, Charles Barkley did something to warm my heart this week. He was on the Dolphin broadcast where the NFL players were playing against the NBA players were playing against Kelsey and Mahomes. And he said on that broadcast that he had originally willed $5 million to the University of Auburn, his alma mater, in his will. But he has since amended his will to include that $5 million will only be designated for African-American students to make sure that the university remains diverse in lieu of the Supreme Court ruling that abolishes affirmative action in regard to college admissions. Now, Tasha, there's a lot of weeds to get into with this, but I want to kind of keep this on a sports-related topic as well. Do you think more players should follow suit in light of the recent ruling by the Supreme Court?
What I think should happen and what's actually going to happen are two different damn things.
Hey, on the side note, Langston, I just got some new clippers. Thank you, brother. Because his wave game is on point. He sunk the submersible. So to get that from somebody with the wave game on point, I'm all right. All right. Thank you, brother. My brother. Go ahead, Tasha.
Like I said, what people should do and what they will do are two different things. Just the same way more players should have joined Colin Kaepernick. They didn't, because at the end of the day, they all have a bottom line, and their bottom line is the fact that they want their money and they need their money. And remember, they had all the push for all of these players to go to these HBCUs, saying that if they go to HBCUs, it'll make the HBCUs better. But at the end of the day, as much as we support HBCUs, if you want to get chosen, you got to go to the PWI because it's more exposure. Even with Deion coming down to Jackson State, his last year, only two of his players, no HBCU player.
He was very upset about that.
No, got drafted number one, and only two of his players got looks at the NFL via free agency.
Right. Undrafted free agency, yes.
So you can say that all you want. Charles can say, I want the money to go to Black students. It's not going to happen because Black students, again, they're trying to do what's best for them. And these athletes go to these PWIs, continue to go because they want that exposure.
Well, how about this part, though, Tasha? We're going to exclude the athletes from this particular discussion in regard to the recipient. We're saying the recipient being just your average, everyday 4.0 student.
Well, you said put it to sports. So
I'm saying should more athletes follow Charles Barkley's suit to give back money to make sure this money allotted?
What I think should happen and what is actually going to happen are two different things.
Do you think? Let me point it this way.
Wait. Because I'll forget. Is Jordan going to take his shoes and his logo away from North Carolina, who was one of the schools that was mentioned in that lawsuit with Harvard?
No.
Those Carolina Jordans were the top selling Jordans when they came back out with the dunks and the coat, all that. That was the number one shoe. Jordan's bottom line is his money.
Do you think that's across the board with all athletes, though? Do you think that
that's what I'm trying to say. No, they still want their money. They still want they want to be able to go to their old schools, wave at the crowd, get their jerseys retired. Other athletes are not going to do this. Charles is at a point in his life and Charles has always been this way. He don't care. Charles don't give a fuck about what nobody says. Charles Barkley is going to do him, and he's always been that way. I can see someone like Charles Barkley saying this, but these other athletes of note and of wealth are not going to do that. We know Tiger Woods ain't going to take his money away from Stanford, but then again, Stanford is a hard university to get into, black or white.
Right. No, what I'm saying is not take the money away from, because Charles Barkley's not taking his money away from Auburn.
Right.
We're having a special designation. You said they won't do that.
You're missing my point. What I think should happen and what is going to happen.
What do you think should happen? What do you think should happen? That's what I want to get to.
All these athletes who attended these PWIs should follow suit, because
okay, I wanted to start there. Okay, got you now. Okay.
Because it's an important thing, because let's just be honest. When you put it in the realm of sport, I have two different takes on this, but you said to keep the sports, I had to throw my
No. I just wanted to nail down that part, because now that we know that you said that they should, but they want, I wanted to know what the should was. All right, now go ahead, Beck. The floor is back yours.
So when you got these athletes who need their money, the NILs, you're getting more money from PWIs. You're not getting that. Are you going to go to TSU or Tennessee when you can get a bigger NIL deal wearing that orange and white than you can that blue and white? Where are you going to go? Where's your interest going to lie? But as to Mel's point, as everyone knows, I'm always pro-black, and I don't have a problem saying that. And on this show, I always tell you guys, I always bet on black. Until these black athletes understand their value and their worth, Mel's point is mute.
But to answer your question, Mel, yes, they did get noticed back in the day. Just ask your Walter Paytons, just ask your Jerry Rices, your Richard Dents that went to TSU. And there are several Hall of Famers that went to HBCUs.
But that's what I'm saying. Until these players,
TSU Big Blue in the house. Until
these players understand their worth and their value, it's not going. Mel's point is mute.
It is, and the thing is, I totally agree with you, because
it's ingrained in their mind that if you, what they say, you want to go pro, you're gonna go here. You're gonna go here. You want this because Jim, wasn't it not what's his name? Oh gosh, it's on the tip. Went to FIU. Oh, it's on the tip of my tongue. Track and field. Went to Germany for the Olympics.
Sha'Carri.
No, the track. What is his name? It's on the tip of my tongue. When Hitler was saying that the white athlete was superior to the black.
Oh, Jesse Owens.
Jesse Owens was one of the first that went to a PWI. And then what they were saying, like even back in the day at Alabama, when they realized that these black players had the talent, they started recruiting black, because most of the championships, you go back and look, most of the championships were up north, because up north caught on fast and caught on first. We're going to get these black athletes in here because they are superior. And I'm going to say it, they're the superior athlete, unless you was the quarterback back in the day. The South was late, as they always are, hashtag Juneteenth, to allow black players in. Like you said, that's why you have the Walter Paytons, the Jerry Rices, the Richard Dents, who all went to HBCUs, made it to the league, NFL Hall of Famers, who made it by going to a HBCU. It's already in their minds that they have to go to this PWI to make it. Now, what my original point was, what I thought, because I did some research on this when you sent this to me. I read, it's Great Valley State University did a research thing on this, and this was way before any of this happened. They make ways for us to get into the universities, into these PWIs, but they don't do a good job at retaining us. The graduation rates versus the entrance rates are significantly lower. So we as a people can't be mad and say this is unfair. They don't want us here. Why can't we go to their schools if when we get there, we're not doing our job to maintain and graduate from said universities.
Are they including athletes into those numbers?
No, they took out the athletes because, of course, with the athletes, the numbers, oh my God, it would probably be 20% with the athletes included, because we know athletes, if they're talented enough, they tend to leave school now after 1 year. But, in the NFL, it's 3 years, but most of those players tend to leave before then.
Now, Langston said, but is it an individual choice if one chooses to go to a PWI? Does that mean they don't know their worth? I may not have heard that correctly.
No, I said that is what I said, Langston. But here, knowing your value and your worth. Because like they always say, if you're a superstar, they're going to see you wherever you are. Who would have thought going to Mississippi Valley State would get you the likes of a Jerry Rice?
Right.
Who would have?
Now, see, this is something I'm going to read out loud. It says exactly, and I think it would only be temporary sacrifice because when they start getting hit in the pocket, they will listen. I feel sports is the strongest weapon. You know what? And it is. Now, let me just paint a picture that this would like Tasha. This is something that I would love to see happen, but it would never happen because of some of the power play, because of the NIL money at play for the current students. Let's say if the class of 24, 25, 26, and 27, a whole 4-year cycle, decided that the best athletes, the 3, 4, 5 stars, only went to HBCU schools, it will cripple these NCAA PWI programs to the point to where the SWAC will basically need to be a Power 5 conference. But that will never happen because we're not going to be unified like that.
To our boy Dion, as much as y'all think I just pound on Dion goes Jackson State to Colorado, which I ain't have no problem with that. He can do what he want to do. But he also took the good players from Jackson State.
He did.
Because that's telling them.
Namely his son.
Yes, that's telling them we're going to go to Colorado and win. Instead of, y'all can stay at Jackson State with this new coach that I helped pick that, I groomed, and y'all can still win here. He's giving them a mixed message, and I think that's what's really going on. If you start hitting these PWIs in their pockets, which is the Black athlete being recruited to play their sports,
right?
I think
because there is no problem with getting a 3-star barely made the grade into a PWI when it comes to making them millions of dollars.
I can't even think of the name of it, and it wasn't Last Chance U. It's a good show on Netflix about this high school coach. A white coach volunteered at one of the worst high schools in Memphis, and out of everybody on that team, the ones that they kind of highlighted, the one guy who was really, really smart, he got injured and he really didn't get offered an athletic scholarship, and he got an academic scholarship. Well, the one that they were looking at to be this athlete, he was kind of slow when it came to his to his grades, but he was able to become eligible, and he ended up going to Southern Miss, but he has since transferred to Austin Peay. I just think a lot of times, now I'm not gonna lie, my daughter went to PWI. We enjoy.
My mama graduated from a PWI.
Right. We prefer the PWI football over the HBCU because I remember several jokes that I used to get off back in the day.
Well, you and Nate Cooper just last season we're talking about how bad the product is on the field.
Yeah. We used to watch them games on BET and be like, oh, why the quality look like this? What's wrong with their uniforms? Why the numbers so little?
You said why the numbers so low?
The numbers be so low.
I want to get this in from Shamika. She says now that there's no quota, they think they've done something for themselves. What they fail to realize is that they've started a conversation and hopefully it will foster a movement. See, that's why I'm so proud to be able to do a show with Tasha, because the extra point is not going to run from this topic. We're not going to run from this topic. We know that this is life, and that its implications are far-reaching. Thank you, Langston.
But Shamika, unfortunately, it's not going to start a movement. Now, you did have some people that sued Harvard for those legacy clauses.
Because the legacy clause was not amended, whereas you can not have the same criteria as a Hispanic or a Black or an Asian applicant, but you still get in because of somebody else who was there in your family and your lineage.
And another point on that, these alumni, if you love your school so much, why does it always have to be donations for sports? Why can't it be donations for other things?
Now we're going back to my original question. I'm so glad you brought it back to my original question of, and by movement, what I took from that is, can Charles Barkley start a movement?
No.
And I'm not talking about the current students that are there because they're trying to get pro. I'm talking about the ones who have already millionaires.
I've already answered that.
You have zero confidence that others will follow suit to make sure that there's money.
I have no confidence whatsoever. Again, if Jordan said, hey, I'm taking my money and my name and my shoes away from North Carolina at Chapel Hill because of you guys admitting.
He could definitely spark change, but he told us in the 80s the Republicans buy shoes too. So he's been out there crazy.
That was taken out of context. But Jordan's not going to remove his shoe. So what's going to happen if North Carolina becomes an Adidas school? You see what I'm saying? That at the end of the day, the bottom line is money for everyone involved.
Right. I personally would like to live in a world where I would hope that other athletes will follow suit, even if you're just doing it one campus at a time, starting with Auburn, where he's making sure that, and I think going back to your point about the enrollment versus retention, that a lot of times, and it happened in the lives of a lot of great people that I know personally, their finances became an issue when completing college. You see now with the student loan debt forgiveness being taken away and the bond that's going to put a lot of kids in, a lot of kids didn't have the resources to go to a PWI and continue.
I mean, HBCU is not cheap nowadays either. I know several people that went to TSNU with us who have student loans.
Right. No, but everybody had a Pell Grant or a student loan.
Keep Shamika's statement up there because I forget, because I have something to say on that as well. But I just think we as Black people, a lot of times, we focus on the wrong things. And I understand that at the end of the day, it is about bettering yourself. And if these guys feel like going to these schools is going to better themselves, I'm here for it. I'm going to support you. I'm going to watch you on Saturday like I've been doing since I was 10 years old, watching football.
Because it wasn't the students. The students didn't amend that. The Supreme Court did. So I'm not going to hold a 5-star recruit responsible for the plight of an entire race. That's not fair.
What I would wish is for more athletes to join in on these movements.
Yes. Where are you, athletes? Where are you?
Can you imagine if the majority of these athletes, just think if you had 10 big name Cowboys to take a knee, not when Gerald went out there at the midfield and did it. If you think you would have had 10 top profile Cowboy athletes that took a knee after Jerry said, we don't take no knee.
Right.
Can you imagine what that would have done? Had it not been Colin and Eric Reed and a few others sprinkled throughout.
If it's a Patrick Mahomes, somebody who you can't touch.
Right.
You're not suspending Patrick Mahomes for no year over that.
Right. Can you imagine what change would have been made? It would have been more than a helmet logo or some shit in the end zone. It would have been more than that. So I would hope people would follow Charles's suit, but I don't think it's going to happen. Now let me get
history has suggested that it won't happen, but that's horrifying to me that he's the only person. Charles Barkley and the extra point is the only people talking about this right now. Everybody wanted to bury it under the rug and talk about Wembanyama and Brittany Spears getting hit in the face. No, there are laws being changed. It's going to affect the generations that come behind us, and we were the benefit of the civil rights movement of the 60s, what our parents and our grandparents did for us. That Montgomery bus boycott, they walking to work in the cold, in the rain.
In dress shoes?
In dress shoes.
Because they weren't out here wearing comfortable shoes, walking in athleisure.
Right, and they weren't filming it, getting likes on and retweets for it, being self-serving about it. They did it so that we could do something like this today. And I just hope that we still have that in us to pay it forward. Like, somebody get on board with Charles Barkley. LeBron James, I know you've done a lot, but your voice carries weight. You can do that for a school sponsor a school, NBA players.
And not USC, where your son is, and that's going to get all this money just because your son is there.
Now, we're not going to shy away from nothing. And Jarrell says it won't happen because a lot of these brothers are scared of master and their own self.
Don't forget to keep Shamika's point up there because I will forget. But I have an
yeah. Right here.
So let me get it out before I forget now. Yes, Shamika. Because these Asians want to side all of a sudden with the man. Remember about 3-4 years ago when you had a president who was telling people that the virus came from China, the China virus, and it was open hunting season on y'all, but now y'all want to side with these same people. They were protected by the laws that was shed by the blood of African Americans, and it's like a double cross. Now it's like, okay, we appreciate y'all getting us through that regime to get on out the way because we want to go to Harvard. Like, oh, this is bigger than that. But do y'all not think that y'all are a minority as well? Minority does not always mean black.
Right. And the thing is, the power of perseverance has gotten us 400 years to this point, and the power of perseverance is going to continue to push us forward. I just wish and hope and pray, but I'm like Tasha, my confidence level is very, very low that people will join in the movement, not look the other way. Charles Woodson, yes, Mr. Charles Woodson, I'm calling you out. Set some money aside so African-American kids won't run out of money if they want to go to Michigan and they don't carry a ball, that they're not the best athlete on campus. We're talking about the kids that are not going to get in based on meritocracy, and sports is the biggest meritocracy. So yes. With like the me's of the world and the you's of the world who were top 10 in our class, who would go to any other school in America and line up against those students and fare well on a standardized test. Like, there were some brilliant kids that went to school with me, and Tasha's one of them. And I just want to make sure those kids have an opportunity.
And the thing is, go back to this standardized test. Chrissy Roper and I were having a discussion. And I told her, I said, not trying to put my daughter's business out on the street, but she doesn't care. I got it approved where Sasha could get extra time on her test because Sasha is a very, very smart girl. Her issue was test taking, and you can't, and that, it's your environment. Sasha was raised in Williamson County. Sasha graduated from Brentwood High School. Some people just don't take tests well.
Right. That's true.
That's just it. So the fact that they still have these standardized tests is an issue to me too. And of course they say it's harder for Black people to do well on these tests because it's biased. My thing is, if you get it, you get it. If you don't, you don't. But those standardized tests to me have always been the issue. Now, my child was lucky enough to get I think Sasha got a 26 on the ACT. She was lucky enough to get a higher grade on her
That wasn't luck. That was May Jane's skill.
But I just really think, again, it just goes back to us knowing our value and our worth.
Right.
And if we continue to let people tell us what our worth is,
you could cripple the NCAA and bring those colleges to their knees if you wanted to. Again, I'm not going to put that plight on a bunch of 18-year-olds, but there were a bunch of 18-year-olds at Fisk doing sit-ins in the 60s. There was a bunch of them doing at Tennessee State University. They were doing sit-ins, and we could go on and on and on about this. I just wanted to do like Shamika said, that it opens up a conversation that could lead to a movement. And I applaud you all for hanging in there. Looking at the numbers, no one really dropped off during that segment, and that's a testament to you all. So thank you all for having an uncomfortable conversation with us on a Saturday morning. I love y'all for that. But I'm gonna hold out hope. I'm with Tasha. I'm gonna have to see it to believe it. But I'm calling all you athletes out with your $1 million endorsements, your John Morant, you're posting guns. How about you send some money up to Tennessee State University before you lose it all? To make sure that these kids can continue to have a great education.
TSU, don't stick your fingers in them.
Lord Jesus, please. All right. Excellent conversation. Is it okay for us to say the name of the person who wanted us to talk about this, Tasha?
No, it's Mel.
Mel, thank you for reaching out to us to talk about this. I was very excited when Tasha reached out to me and told me that you wanted to talk about this. Yes, John needs some sense. But thank you for that because this is a grown-up discussion that needs to be had. They are culturally biased, but you have to acknowledge your child's deficiencies and give them help to strengthen them, and in turn teaching them to advocate for themselves in their struggle. Retweet.
Yes.
Retweet, Shamika.
That's what I was looking for. Culturally biased. I couldn't. Shamika, I've been smoking this morning. My mind ain't working.
Still smoking, bud. Still smoking. All right.
Put that light in your pocket and don't smoke my goddamn weed.
Boom, at the door. All right, excellent conversation. I can't wait to go back and listen to that because so many things was coming in fast and furious. All right, Tasha T. Sizzle, you know how we close every show with your top 5. We're going to turn it to the MLB, and All-Star weekend is upon us, and the Home Run Derby is on Monday. So, with the Home Run Derby being on Monday and the Texas Rangers being in first place this late in the damn summer, let's get your top 5 sluggers of all time.
Now, I don't care what y'all think about this man. Barry Bonds going to always be on my list.
Put that man in the Hall of Fame.
Because Barry Bonds, before his head grew from 7 3/4 to 9 1/4,
you said 9 and what?
A quarter. Was one of the best baseball players ever with the Pittsburgh Pirates. He needs to be inducted
twice. The pre-steroid him and the post-steroid him both need to get in.
And this is a fact, a fun fact that a lot of people don't know. When him and Bobby Bonilla were playing for the Pittsburgh Pirates, they were called the Killer Bees. And if you know, my dogs' names are Big Boy and Bella Blue. Why are they BB?
Are they Aquemini?
Well, he is named after Big Boy. He is.
See, that was half right.
But the reason why I went for the BB is because of Barry Bonds and Bobby Bonilla. So my babies are the Killer Bees. Most of my
all right, Killer Bees.
That's what they are, the Killer Bees, because they are.
My Buster's in there too. He's a bee.
Well, we gotta give Buster a middle name so he can be a BB. So I got Barry Bonds. Next on my list, even though I'm still, look, I got Albert Pujols on the list.
All right.
I just think somehow
is he still playing? I think he retired last year, didn't he?
I think this is his last season.
This is his last season.
Or was it last season? He went back to St. Louis. I just think his test just ain't came back positive yet, if you know what I mean.
Right. He's that preemptive.
But at the end of the day, you can't take that away from Albert Pujols because he is a great hitter. I got Miguel Cabrera on this list.
See, you know your baseball. Well, we have to defer to the queen on this.
And now this one, people may be like, but I got David Ortiz on this list. Even though David Ortiz was a designated hitter, David Ortiz has 9 Silver Slugger awards.
And he survived 9 shots.
Right. Because they shot me 9 times real. Don't die. Can you hear me?
My man was over there in Duckville. He was like, bye, 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 bye.
I mean, literally, y'all, I was in Boca Chica, and the first thing, when I got to Boca Chica, the first thing I asked my friend, I said, where Big Papi get shot at? Like,
Big Papi, hey, the kids nowadays say he ate them slugs and went on the Fox broadcasting.
Right, went on the Fox Sports. And the fact that we drove by, and I said, damn, this is where they try to take Big Papi out at. Like, I was literally in awe because it is a wide open club. So I can see how he came in and got papped in the back. But that's neither there. But of course, number one is always going to be my unanimous Hall of Famer, even though that one voter was a hater, is one Mr. Ken Griffey Jr.
Yes. And Shamika brought up a name that I hadn't heard in a long time. Brian Jordan. What do you
about Brian? And now, are you saying Barry as in Barry Larkin or Barry Bonds, Shamika?
It better be Barry Bonds.
Because Barry Larkin can be on a list too.
Hell, you know what I'm saying? That's so excellent list. When I saw that the Home Run Derby was Monday, I was like, oh, well, I got to get Tasha's thoughts on this because I have been following baseball this year because the Rangers have been decent and they're on the radio all the time. When I'm getting off work, I ride home, I'm listening to the games.
And see, again, I'm in baseball purgatory because my Mets it like they do every year. Start off with so much promise.
Hey, the Mets are is on a 7-game winning streak. They just put the hands on San Francisco last night.
Do you notice I have not worn my Mets shirt once?
Hey, METS, Mets. They're going to make a run these last 82 games after this break. All that money they spent is going to be money well spent. Y'all say Bo? Bo ran up that wall, didn't he?
Bo ran up that wall just like Ken Griffey Jr., but now Bo ain't on my list because I just think because it's.
You said Bonds, girl. Bonds.
Oh, okay. Bonds. Okay. I mean, Barry Larkin was a great slugger too, so that's why I didn't know who you were.
Saying. Right. No. So no love for Dion.
Don't give me Shamika Baker, Anita Nicole.
Let's see. Mike saying the Mets look bad the first half. So have the San Diego Padres as well with all the money they spent on Tatis and his doping ass. And Bogarts and all of those people that they got out there, and Manny Machado, they got a locked and loaded Sluggerville too, and they getting their butts whooped. Yu Darvish out there got smoked last night. See, y'all didn't know I've been watching my baseball. Yes,
you ain't gonna break up Yu Darvish.
Yu Darvish got smoked last night out there on the West Coast. All things sports. Good show, y'all. Thank you, Mike. Tasha, who you shouting out today?
To be honest, my shout out goes to the other volunteers here in this country that help with some of these stray dogs in this country. Stray dogs.
Ball Barker.
No, I'm serious. Stray dogs are a very, along with poverty, I think stray dogs is the number 2 issue in this country because they are not educated enough to know how to take care of dogs. If they get a female dog, they tend not to like the dog. They put the dog on the street. What happens? She continues to get mated, and then you continue to have more stray dogs on the street. So what someone did was they started a change.org form, which I don't know how much it's going to help, but I did sign up for it because the country Dominican Republic is trying to put in a law that people can just go out and kill stray dogs.
No, we're not doing that. We're not doing that.
Which is very inhumane.
See, that's where blacks and whites unite in America over our dogs. We don't play like that.
Down here, again, I understand it's either feed that dog or feed yourself. And we are so against that here because they already treat dogs.
No, not no dogs. I don't play like that.
So what I'm going to say is shout out to me and some of my other fellow volunteers. One day I'm going to do a show from the clinic where we do free treatment for fleas and ticks and parasites. But if you have a dog, it's no reason in hell why your dog should not be spayed or neutered if you're living in a first world country. That should be something simple. Why on earth
you don't want no puppies?
If you're not going to breed a dog, and a dog should only be bred once or twice, after that you should no longer breed a dog. If it's a small breed, it should only be bred once. You need to go ahead and have your pet spayed or neutered. Why on earth would you have a dog walking around bleeding? Why on earth would you have a dog walking around humping when it's not necessary? He got his balls hanging down. And it's a video of a little Dominican girl because they don't know any better. She back there playing with the dog's balls till the daddy grabbed her and said, don't play with the balls.
Damn. I wanted to laugh, but a laugh didn't come up on that one.
So please, guys, if you have a pet, if you're not a certified breeder, go get your fucking dog spayed or neutered. And I'm done.
I just wanted to let that breathe right there because she was serious. So I wasn't coming behind that with no joke or nothing. I wanted to let that breathe. The Chihuahua, the crazy one, that's Carter. The hijacked my mama's phone, y'all. My shout out goes to my niece Deanna for losing her first two. All right. Shouts out to my great niece. I'm gonna give a shout out to Michigan Mike checking in. We don't need you we starting our countdown to kickoff next week, Mike. So it's time for you to put in a PTO day if you want to get in on some of this football talk. We're going to get you a PTO Saturday. I want to give a shout out to Miss Shakari. Is it Shakari or Shakari? Which one is it? Do you know? You don't like her still. Get over it. Y'all both smoke. Well, I want to give a shout out to Shakari Richardson for on the 2-year anniversary of her getting banned for weed smoking, she just won the 100-meter women's nationals last night.
And looked great.
And looked great doing it. Y'all, she snatched off her wig right during the introductions. And whenever you see a black woman snatch off her wig in public, something about to go down. Right? That's right. That's right. And she ran the race of her life. I was very, very happy.
Again, my issue wasn't with her smoking the weed because I'm a smoker and I'm going to always be pro-smoke. It was the attitude. That was my thing with her, was the attitude.
Right. Langston shouting out the next official PCH alumni all-class event, August the 6th. Proceeds go to the school last week. See, this is what we're talking about with the NBA players. Now, these are people with kids and 40-hour-week jobs. Well, he probably got a salary job, but, doing their thing. Hey, Kenny. She says, she sure did, Kenny. She says, I ain't back, I'm better. Came in. Yeah, she sure did say that. Boondocks, Lord Jesus. I want to give a shout out to her.
Yes, I do look like Granddad. That's a
I don't know why he put that up there until I looked up again. Damn it. Well, he called me an egghead earlier, so he's in his bag.
Riley.
I want to give speaking of PCH, on a serious note, I want to say RIP to one of the greatest men and leaders that I had ever had the pleasure of following. That's one, Mr. Richard Griffin, our band teacher for 2 years at Pearl Cone. He meant so much to all of us. He was a great leader, a great man, a great musician. He empowered us. He literally came in like Lean on Me and got a ragtag bunch of kids from North Nashville together to where we were winning awards and shows in other states in jazz band, in concert band. And of course, he wrote songs like with Janet Jackson, Escapade, to let us get down. A great, great, great man. I am really, really hurting over this, y'all. I'm hurting bad over this one. Mr. Griffin, RIP, and thank you for everything. God bless you and your family.
I mean, this man used to, because I wasn't in the band, but all my friends were. This man used to just let me hang out. She was
an honorary band member. She was. Griffin had love for Tasha. Well, hell, you would stay. You knew all of the band routines. You could have actually filled in for somebody.
I still like. How many times do I bring up the time Steve fell out on the field? I know he was like, and y'all was like,
march right on from it. The show must go on. Griff don't play like that. So, wow. As my family is chatting it up. All right, ladies and gentlemen, next week starts our countdown to kickoff. We are only a month away from college football. So we're going to start our countdown to kickoff. We're about to start talking some football. Yes, that was terrible. Until then, on behalf of the Boondocks and the Egghead, we're going to see y'all in about 6 days and 23 hours. Peace. He called me an egghead.
But he said Boondocks. I know you